Virtual private cloud.
Screen is not visible.
Virtual private cloud. Okay. So what is virtual private cloud is nothing but a network. It is a virtual network. This is a virtual network which isolates your resource from one account to other account.
Sir, screen is not visible, sir.
1 minute, 1 minute. Now okay? Now
Okay, sir.
So what is my VPC? VPC is a nothing but a virtual private cloud. Okay. So మీ అక్క నెంబరా ఇది? హలో,
Yes, sir. Yes.
అదే స్వప్న ఉంటే మీ చాలా స్వప్నం వస్తుంది, మీ సౌజన్యం వస్తుంది కదా.
అవును సార్, మా అక్క నంబర్.
ఓకే అండి. చూడండి, VPC అంటే ఏంటంటే వర్చువల్ ప్రైవేట్ క్లౌడ్. ఇట్ ఈస్ నోన్ ఆఫ్ ద వర్చువల్ ప్రైవేట్ క్లౌడ్. వర్చువల్ ప్రైవేట్ క్లౌడ్ ఈజ్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో నోన్ ఆఫ్ ద హైబ్రిడ్ క్లౌడ్. ఇట్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో నోన్ ఆఫ్ ద వాట్? హైబ్రిడ్ క్లౌడ్.
హైబ్రిడ్ క్లౌడ్.
Hybrid cloud. What is my hybrid cloud? There are 3 types of clouds are there. One is the public cloud, second one is the private cloud, third one is the private cloud. Okay. The public cloud where all resources are shared between the multiple tenants or multiple people. The same resource will be shared with multiple person. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Whereas private cloud is limited to the single tenant or single person. Only that single person can access that resources and they can use these resources. Whereas hybrid cloud is nothing but is a combination of the public and private. The combination of the public and private. Understood? It is a combination
Yes,
of public and private. Public and private. Okay. Suppose VPC stand for virtual private cloud. It isolates your resources from one account to another account. This is your account. This is my account. I created a resources. Resources means AWS EC2, S3, EBS, all these resources. So you are also created. You are also created. It will isolate, mean that it will differentiate or separate your network and my network. Okay? You got it?
Okay.
It's nothing
Yes,
but it will create a network. It will create a network, separate network. So that in that separate network, you're going to deploy your EC2 resource or AWS resources. Okay. If you don't have VPC, then your resources and other person resources will conflict. Okay. To separate your resources and his resource. Suppose you have account and myself have an account. So what does mean that both are using the public cloud? Of course, we are using the public cloud only. Understood? We are using public cloud. We are not using the private cloud. Private cloud is a dedicated data center, dedicated resources. We are not using because of dedicated resources and dedicated data center cost very high. Okay. We are using the public cloud. AWS is the one of the public cloud. In the public cloud, resources are sharing. But how to segregate your resources and my resources? Don't mix up or conflict. Then use the VPC. The VPC. Okay? So VPC stands for virtual private cloud. It will create a separate network to your resources. And also for me, it will create a separate network me also for my deploying my resource. Understood?
Yes, yes.
Understood? It is a separate network to run your resources. Every account having a one VPC, default VPC there. That is nothing but a network. VPC is nothing but a network. It is a virtual network which is separate from one account to other account. It will separate from one account to other account. Is known as the VPC. So what are the components of the VPC? We had learned that what are the components of the VPC? The components of the VPC are VPC, subnets. What is that? Subnets. Route table. In the previous class I explained you.
Yes, yes.
Route table. Internet gateway. Egress internet gateway. These are the components. These are the components of some of the components of VPC. In the yesterday's class, we have created VPC also. VPC also. Understood?
Yes.
So now what we're going to do, we are going to do a small project on the AWS. Okay? We're going to do a small project on AWS. Understood? This is a project. You can write down your resume also. Understood?
Okay.
This is a small project. We're going to do the AWS project. This project is known as the VPC or AWS VPC multi-tier architecture. What is the project name? Deploying multi-tier or tier. Someone else they will pronounce a tier. Someone else they will pronounce like tier. Tier and tier both are same. Huh? What is that? AWS VPC multi-tier architecture. Multi-tier architecture. Okay. So we're going to create a project on what? AWS deploying a web application using the AWS multi-tier architecture. You understood?
Yes.
Deploying a web application by using the AWS multi-tier architecture. This is the project. Okay, you can mention your resume also. So I had done this project. Understood? For this one here, what we need to do here, okay, we're going to create a VPC. We're going to create a VPC. This is very big. This is the project means it takes time, so much of time. Huh? This is the VPC. Okay. So VPC is nothing but a virtual network. Is a virtual network. Is a virtual network. Understood? It is a virtual network. This virtual network, there are several components are there like subnet. In generally, web application contains two parts. One is the front end, a back end, and a three parts. So, what you know that web application contains how many parts? 3 parts. What is that? 3 parts. What are the 3 parts are there? Here, I just go to the AWS multi-tier architecture. Multi-tier architecture. Every web application contains the 3 parts. They are divided into 3 parts. 3 parts. Okay. So what does this multi-tier architecture contains? To observe here, loading very slowly, but here what does mean multi-tier architecture means web application contain front end and back end. What is that? Front end and back end. Front end and back end. Web application contains the front end and back end. Another end is also there, that is called as application end. That is called the application end. Application end. There are 3 parts are there. One is the front end, second one is the application end, and third one is the back end. Third one is the back end. So here, what happens here? Your front end contains here. Leave it. This front end contains your web server. All your web servers are in the front end. All your web servers working on the front end. What the front end contains? HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, Drupal, WordPress. These are the front end. Okay. What does the back end contains? Back end contains the database of your web application or website. Back end contains the web application of your website. Okay.
Okay.
What does back end contains? SQL, MySQL, Oracle, anything. It may be anything. MySQL, Oracle, MongoDB. It may be anything. It may be anything. Understood? And this application contains the Node.js, Python, Java. Okay.
Okay, sir.
How many parts are there? There is a front end part, there is application end part, and third one the back end part. Is the back end part. So all the web application which you are deploying, all the data is stored in the back end. Understood? And the
Yes.
website or web application, the website and web application works in the front end, mean that contains the HTML, CSS, JavaScript. HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Understood? HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Okay, HTML, CSS and JavaScript. You got it? Which one? Front end. Whereas back end, the application, where the application runs in the application end. That is nothing but a middleware, where Node.js, Python, Java will run the application. Okay? The application, it is also known as the business logic, where the code is run. That is called as the which end? Application end. 3 ends are there. Most of the people don't explain what is back. They will explain only back end and front end. Generally, this another end is there, that is application end. That is where your business logic works. Okay?
Okay.
Here we are going to create a project. Here we don't create any application end because of there is complexity. We are going to create a project on the multi-tier architecture. In this multi-tier architecture, first I create a VPC. Okay. In this
Okay.
VPC, I create 2 subnets.
Subnets.
Okay. IP address of the VPC is 10.0.0.0./60. And the IP address of the public subnet. This is the public subnet. Okay. And this one is the private. Subnet. And here your web server runs. Got it? Here web server runs. Here your SQL or database. This is the database server. Or backend. Understood? The IP address of the public subnet is 10.0.0.0/24. Okay. Here IP address of the private subnet is 10.0.1.0/24. Okay. So what is my public subnet? The public subnet where the internet is there. We can connect to the internet. Mean the public subnet is internet is there. So whereas private subnet doesn't have internet. Why the private subnet doesn't have internet? Because of all the web application data is there in the database. All the web application data is stored in the database.
Right.
The critical and vital information, every information, data is stored in the database server. So the hackers attack hackers. Okay. What do hackers? Hacker attacks. Okay. So hackers attack on the back end only because of the website having all username and password. The website data is there stored in the back end. The attacker. What is that? Attacker. The attacker will attack on the database server. So there is nothing there in the front end server. Everything is stored in the back end. So always attacker attacks on the back end only. If we have an internet, suppose this subnet, this where the database servers are running, if this one having internet, then there is a direct connection to the hacker. There is a direct connection to the hacker. So when that is a direct connection there, hacker will attack on the backend and he will compromise the all backend servers. To avoid this problem, to provide the security, all backend servers are SQL or database services are in the private network. Mean that this private network doesn't have internet. Understood? Doesn't have any internet. Understood? No
Yes.
internet. There is no internet there for private subnet. Okay. But this public subnet having internet. If you don't have internet, then you are able to connect from your laptop or desktop. You are accessing your EC2 from your laptop or desktop. Then how are you accessing? Whether this internet only, if this subnet having internet only, you can try to connect to from your laptop. If this doesn't have an IP address, that is that doesn't have any public IP address, you are not able to connect to the private subnet. You are not able to connect to the private subnet.
Right.
You are not able to connect to the private subnet because of there is no internet availability, internet connection there for the private subnet. Okay, understood?
Yes.
But
Yes.
I want to then how will you connect? If you are not able to connect, then how will you configure this database server? How will you write down the queries? How will you do the update everything? I need to write down the database also because of database end also they will try to connect. Here what we do here, these front end servers here having EC2s are there, front end servers are there. In the front end, nothing but public subnet. Any one of the EC2 instance from the EC2 instance, we are going to log in here. Okay, from any public subnet, we take one EC2 instance. From public subnet EC2 will connect to the private subnet because this public subnet and private subnet is a part of a VPC. There is a part of the VPC. Both this front end and private back end, they will communicate internally. They are internally communication. There is internal communication there. There is a internally communication is there from private subnet to public subnet. Whereas for this private subnet, the database we can't access from the outside. This database are nothing but these EC2s we are deployed in the private subnet. We can't connect because there doesn't have an internet. But I need to connect, I do to configure, I do to update. Then how will you do that? First we are going to log into the public EC2 instance. From the public EC2 instance, we can connect to the private instance. Understood? This is known as the bastion. The EC2 where from public to private we are accessing this is known as the bastion. BASTN, bastion server. Okay? Understood? Here another
Yes,
thing is
sir.
there. I had explained the public subnet is associated with the internet gateway. This internet gateway will provide the internet for this one, no problem. But here, I want internet to update a database server. I need to update the queries. Then I need internet to run the backend. Then what happens here if you attach the internet gateway? Then there is security issues there. There is a big security issue there when you connect to internet gateway. Then how do you avoid this situation? Because if you connect to the internet gateway, these hackers are outside connectivity there for the database. They will attack and they will compromise the database server. Providing this problem, to securely connect internet, we will use the NAT gateway. What is that? NAT gateway.
Okay.
This NAT gateway will provide the internet for the private network. For public network, internet connectivity is provided by the internet gateway. For the private network, internet will be provided by the NAT gateway. Got it? You got it or not?
Yes, sir.
Now I'm going to do the project. Going to go to the project. Here I'm just first login into the console. Then one by one we're going to do the project. That is known as the AWS multi-tier architecture web application deployment. Okay. Okay. This is one project you can mention in your resume also. First I'm going to log into the website. డెస్క్టాప్ లాగిన్ అయినా వస్తుంది ఫోన్ పోయినా వాళ్ళ డెస్క్టాప్లో కానీ మీకు మొబైల్ అప్లికేషన్ ఉంటుంది కదా, వాట్సాప్ అప్లికేషన్, దాంట్లో కూడా వస్తుంది.
ఓకే.
నేను అలా చేస్తాను, 2-3 సార్లు పోయింది నాది కూడా. పోయినప్పుడు అది అప్లికేషన్ ఆల్రెడీ ఇన్స్టాల్ అయి ఉంటుంది కదా నా ల్యాప్టాప్లో.
యాక్చువల్లీ ఇప్పుడు ల్యాప్టాప్ కూడా లేదు,
ఓకే
సో అందుకని ఇప్పుడు ఫోన్లో వెంటనే
ఓకే. So what happened this one? It's not trying to log in. Now I'm going to do the project. Okay. So we're going to create what? Multi-tier architecture deployment for the web application. You got it?
Yes, yes.
So for this one, first we need to create a VPC. Then we need to create two subnetworks. One is the public subnet, and second one is the private subnet. Then we need to create two route tables. One is for the public, second for the private. And we need to create internet gateway for the public network. Okay, and we need to create NAT gateway for the private network. I am in the United States North Virginia region. I just go to the services. For VPC, we need to go to the network and content delivery. In this one, I selected a VPC. In this one, I create a VPC here. Click on the VPC. First, I create a VPC. The VPC IP address range is 10.0.0.0/16. Here, click on the create VPC. Give the name VPC name. I am giving the VPC name as a Infosys-VPC. And here I am giving the CADR block or IP address range as 10.0/16. 10.0.0/16. Now create a VPC. Now created a VPC. Then after creation of the VPC, we need to create two subnets. One is the public subnet, second one is the private subnet. Here, which VPC I want to create? In the Infosys VPC. I create a Infosys-public-frontend. Okay. Then after that, I need to give the IP address range. That is 10.0.0/24. Here I am giving the /24. Then create a subnet. What is up? This is 124. Okay, sorry. Create a subnet. I created a public subnet. Then we need to create a private subnet. Then click on the select VPC. Then Infosys hyphen private hyphen backend hyphen subnet. Then give the IP address range 10.1.0/24. Create a subnet. Okay. Then two subnets are created. One VPC created. What is the VPC name? Infosys VPC. Inside the VPC, I created two subnets. One is the front-end subnet and the second one is the back-end subnet. In the front-end subnet, I am going to deploy the web service. In the back-end service, I am going to deploy the database service. Then we need to create a route tables. One for the public one, second for the private one. Here
Right.
give the name as a Infosys front root. That front root. Front root. So which VPC? Under the Infosys VPC. Again we are going to create another root table. Here I will just give the name as a Infosys backend root is the backend root. Okay. Then select a VPC here, Infosys VPC. Then create a root table. First I created a VPC, then I created two subnet, then I created a two root table. Then we need to create an internet gateway. Okay, go to the internet gateway. Create Infosys public minus IGW. Only public network only having a internet gateway. There is no internet gateway for the private. Now created a public internet gateway. Then here, after creation of this, I need to attach the subnet with the route tables and internet gateway. This route table is attached with the subnet and internet gateway. First I go to the route table, select the Infosys front root, click on the edit subnet association. We need to associate with the public. Then private root. You are having a here private root, here backend root, right click here and associate with the private subnet. Edit subnet association, click on the Infosys private subnet, save association, done. Then after that, we need to associate this front end root with the internet gateway. For this one, right click here, click on edit roots, click on add roots, add the default root 000 here, click on the internet gateway and select the internet gateway which you created. Why it is not showing? Because of we are not attached to the internet gateway. That's why it is not showing. Go to the internet gateway, click on the internet gateway, click on the actions, click on the attach VPC, select the VPC and select to the Infosys VPC. Now selected. So then go to the route tables, select the Infosys front root, click on the edit root. Here click on add root to add the root from root. Here select the internet gateway which we created. This is the internet gateway now attached. Now there is architecture is created. Now created a VPC. You created a one front end subnet and second one is the back end subnet. The front end subnet is known as the subnet is known as the public subnet and back end subnet is known as the private subnet. Understood? So now we're going to deploy the EC2 instance. One in the web server in the front end and database server in the back end. For this one, go to the EC2. Now I'm going to create two EC2 instances. One is the public, that is the front end server or web server. Second one is the back end or private subnet or database server. Anything you can give name. Back end, database or private server. Here I am just go to the instance running. Click on the launch instance here. Give the name as Infosys front end server. Give the name as Infosys front end server. Then select the Amazon Linux here. This is very big, remember that. Okay, select Amazon Linux here. I am selecting the key pair, previous key pair. Suppose you want to create a new key pair, you can create a new key pair. In the network settings, very important. We need to select which VPC, Infosys VPC. And we need to select which subnet, which subnet, which subnet. This is the front end subnet. This is the front end subnet.
Okay.
Then auto assign IP address is enable. Enable here. Because it is a web server, I add the security group role. This one. Because it's a web server, we'll add HTTP. We'll add the HTTP. Anywhere. Again, I'll add the HTTPS. Add the HTTPS. Anywhere. If any problem is there, having it's a connectivity issue, instead that we'll add the all traffic also some lazy. It will allow all traffic. This one no need, but I'm just adding here. Okay. Understood. I created a web server. I've created a web server in the Infosys VPC under the Infosys front end subnet. This front end subnet. Okay. Click on the launch instance. Okay. This instance is deployed in the front end, means that is connectivity there, internet connectivity is there. Where when you create a back end, there is an internet connectivity, though internet connectivity is there. Okay.
Okay.
So now, I just go to the instance here. Again, we will create another instance. We are going to create another instance. In this one, I will just give the name as a Infosys hyphen backend server. Backend hyphen server. I selected Amazon Linux, T2 Micro, key pair is VV25. Is that? VV25. Then you have a network settings are there. In the network settings, select the VPC. Which VPC? Infosys VPC. In this way, we need to select the subnet, provide backend subnet. And auto assign IP address disable. Auto assign IP address is disable. Here, this is a backend. Add the security group role. Add the MySQL Aurora, because backend contains the MySQL Aurora. MySQL. Understood?
Okay.
This is a backend. We need to have MySQL. That is the database. So here all traffic is optional. Just adding have any issue is there. Then click on the launch system. So now I created a 2 EC2 also. See this first one I created a VPC. Then I created a 2 subnet. Then I created a all this thing, internet gateway, route table, everything I created. Then I created same here also. Then we created EC2 instance in the front end, one EC2 instance in the back end. Okay. So now I'll try to connect for the first instance. Because front end having a public IP address, we can able to connect. Understood?
Yes.
Here. Then we're going to connect this one. If you check here in the front end, there is a public IP address there. This private IP address internally given. This public IP address there. Because it is a front end has a direct connectivity through internet. It is having a public IP address. Whereas the back end, you don't have any internet. Okay, well, let me check here. So it is running backside. Yes, time is too much of time. Here, if you select the backend here, there is no IP address is there. If we check here, IP address is there.
Yes, sir.
Mean that we can't access.
Yes.
So then first we're going to connect to the front end. In this one, click on the connect here and copy this command. Click on the SSH client. Select here this one and install the git bash. Already I had told you how to install the git bash. Check.
Yes.
Already I told you how to create a git. I already installed the git here. and my key pair is there in the download folder. A key pair is there in the where? Download folder. Right click here and open git bash. Open git bash. Then paste here. Then paste here. It will connect to the front end. Connect to the front end here.
Front.
Then click here, yes. Yeah. So done. Then go to the sudo su. Log into the root. Log into the root. Check the IP address. How will you check the IP address? IP minus A. I get IP address 10.0.161. Okay. Now I'm going to install the front end. How will you install the front end here? This I already explained you. How will you install this one? Yum install what? httpd -5. Understood? You remember?
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Still not over. Still around 15-20 minutes left for this one. Huh?
Okay.
So we are install the web server. We install the web server. Okay. After creating the web server, we check the whether the service is running or not. To check the service is running, service httpd status. Service httpd status. So now service is not running. Okay. To enable this service, to run this service here, we need to type the command service httpd start. Understood?
Okay.
Now check again here. Check again here. So now service directly running. The server is running. Huh? Okay.
Okay.
Then what we need to do? Go to this folder cd/vir/ww/html. This is the folder where the all website content is located. And I am creating a one website by using the cat greater than or so use vi greater than file name is index.html. The first
HTML.
one. Then
Okay.
One minute. Let's see. 1 minute. VA index.html. Huh? Oh, what happened here? What is this? Yeah. One minute.
Okay.
One more time. Error, having error is there. So how will you remove this one? rm index.html. rm index.html. Okay. So now rm index.html.
Okay.
Then we will create another one. The create here vi index.html. vi index.html. And he will write down the some HTML tags. We'll add the some HTML tags.
Okay.
Write down the HTML tags. Here, welcome to Javed server. Sorry. Add here. Welcome to Infosys -server. And close here /h1. Okay. Escape colon wq. Okay. So how will you check the website output, web server output? Go to the instance here. Click on the instance here. Copy the public IP address here, and we are paste. So now it is working. Okay. The next thing is there. We need to connect to the backend. This is the backend where database is there. How will you connect the backend with the front end? So backend with the front end, we need to from any one of the instance we're going to connect to the backend. The EC2 instance which provide the connectivity to the backend server is known as the bastion. Now we went to bastion. For connect to the backend server, serious. For connecting to the backend server, first thing we need to create a key pair because we are connecting from front end server to back end. We need to create a key pair. We need to create a key pair.
Key.
So to connect to the front end to the back end asks for the credentials. For that one, first we need to create a key pair. Create a key pair. So here the backend key pair is vb25.pm. What is the key pair name? vb25.pm. Here we need to create a key pair. How will you create a key pair here for the connecting to the backend? For creating the backend, we need to create a key pair vi vb25.pm. This is a key pair name. This is a key pair name. Then press escape, then press enter. Then as it is, what are this one? See this. Okay, if you see here, this is a key pair. Right click here, edit here, it will open. Then select Control A, don't do anything. Don't try to do edit or anything. Just select a Control A, then select Control C, and here as it is paste here. As it is paste here. Then after that press escape from the terminal. To save and exit, we need to type WQ. Understood?
Okay.
Then we need to give the permission for this key pair. What is the permission for giving the key pair? chmod. This is a Linux command. I am giving the permission for the key pair. vb.pm. Giving the permission. Okay. Done.
Okay.
So now we're going to connect the front end server. This from the front end we're going to connect to the back end. Connect to the back end. Okay. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Here, how will you connect the backend here? How will you connect the backend here? Go to the backend server. 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 What happened? Here one option is there, connect option. Do you know already connect option? In the back end we have a connect option there. Here right click having a connect. Click on the connect here. Select the SSH client. Under the SSH client you have a one command is there. This command. Just copy this command. Okay. And paste here. And paste here. Then click. Then type yes. Now successfully connected to the private subnet. See this IP address range 10.0.1.0 successfully connected to the which one? For the private subnet. Private subnet.
Subnet.
So you don't private subnet. Okay, if we check here IP address, we are connected from the front end to the back end. Okay. So what is the front end subnet IP address? 10.0. See this. Previously the IP address of the front end as 10.0.0 as 161. Now connected to the back end. You can see, check here. From front end server connected to the back end. What is the IP address here? 10.0.1.237. Understood? But one thing is there, we are connected to the back end server. Here we are connected to the back end server. We are connected to back end server. But I need back end server internet. If we connect to the internet gateway, there is security issue is there. To avoid this problem, we are going to create a NAT gateway. We are going to create a NAT gateway. Understood?
Okay.
NAT means network address translation gateway. Okay, NAT gateway. This NAT gateway will provide the secure internet. Mean that if you connect to the NAT gateway to your EC2 instance, you can't connect from outside, but it will provide the internet connectivity. Internet gateway and NAT gateway both will provide the internet connectivity. But the thing is there, if we have an internet gateway, the instance can be connected from outside. But if you have a NAT gateway, it will provide only internet. It won't provide the outside connectivity. From your laptop, you can't connect. But where you have internet gateway only, you can connect. Understood? This NAT gateway is the paid one. This is not covered in the free tier. Whenever you create a NAT gateway, it will around 6 rupees per hour. When you create a NAT gateway, we need to delete as much as early, as possible as early. Understood?
Okay.
Here, click on the NAT gateway. Okay, click on the NAT gateway here. Click on the create NAT gateway. Give the name as a Infosys hyphen private NGW. Is that NGW? So here Which subnet we provide the internet? That is nothing but a public subnet will provide the internet. Yeah, we need to select the public subnet. And here we need to allocate the elastic IP. We need to allocate the elastic IP which will provide the internet gateway. Mean that elastic IP is chargeable. Select the elastic IP. Allocate the elastic IP. Create a NAT gateway. Okay. So for creation of the NAT gateway, it will take 5 to 10 minutes. 5 to 10 minutes. How much time will take? 5 to
5 to 10
minutes.
minutes.
We'll wait for that. Here, Shodma, we are checking that NAT gateway is created or not. NAT gateway is created or not. Huh? Okay, na?
Okay. Okay.
Another thing is there, when you create a NAT gateway, try to delete as possible as early. Understood?
Okay.
If you don't delete a NAT gateway, it will lead to heavy billing. Okay?
Oh.
Now create a
Okay.
NAT gateway. Once it is created NAT gateway, go to the VPC here, another thing having a route table. This route table, private route table, how will you get the internet? Through the NAT gateway. Through the
NAT gate.
front-end subnet or public subnet is get the internet from the internet gateway. Here it will get the internet from the NAT gateway. Here
Okay.
click on this one. Click on edit routes. Click on add route here. Click on here. Click the NAT gateway. Click the NAT gateway. Before that, we'll check here. whether the internet is working or there not in the database server. Here click on ping here, ping. I'll just click on the ping www.google.com. Google.com, okay. When I enter here, we don't get any reply. Mean that I don't have internet connectivity for my backend server. Okay. For my backend server, I don't have internet connectivity. Okay. Because I am not getting any reply. Because I am not attached any internet for this private instance. Now we're going to attach to the private instance. Here this is NAT gateway. Here click on the save changes. Now attached here, if you see this, now right I'm getting the internet here. Now I'm getting the internet here. So even private instance also getting internet here. Okay, understood?
Okay.
Suppose you want to install MySQL. Okay, MySQL. And because it's a backend server, we need backend server. MySQL need to install on the backend.
Okay.
Here MySQL installation, there is a few steps are there. Here it is. This, which I am taking the Amazon Linux now here. Here, how to install the MySQL in the backend. So here, this is the MariaDB is there. They select this one, select the command here, and try to install the database. Install the database. You understood?
Yes.
So that's this thing we are done. Okay, we'll get to install the MariaDB. Means the database. Okay. Understood?
Yes.
So now it's asking for yes. Now clicking this here, the MariaDB is installed. We'll check that whether the MySQL is installed or not. MySQL -n version. Now successfully done. So now created our project. So what is our project? AWS multi-tier architecture with the front end and the back end. There is a front end is there. We have created a web server and created a back end server. In the front end server, we created a web server, and back end server we installed the MySQL. From the front end, back end, I had connected the connectivity through Bastion. Understood?
Yes.
So that is the thing is there. For deletion in this lab, this project here, first thing we need to delete the everything EC2 instances. To delete this architecture, first we need to delete the EC2 instances. If you delete the EC2 instances only, then only you can delete all the architecture. First we need to delete the EC2 instances. I select the instances here, right click here, click on terminate and delete. Okay?
Okay.
So after deletion after termination only, we can able to delete the VPC, we can delete the NAT gateway, we can delete the elastic IP address. Means that then only there is no charge in there. We can't directly delete the VPC. When you delete the EC2 only, or we can disconnect the EC2 from the VPC only, we can delete the VPC. You understood?
Okay.
So now I have deleted the EC2 instances. Once you deleted EC2 instances, I check here whether they deleted or not. You need to say, చూడండి రాంగ్ ఉంది చూడండి, మొత్తం రాంగ్ ఉంది చూడండి, ఇదంతా రాంగ్ చూడండి, చెక్ చేసుకోండి. Now delete the instances. Then we need to go to the delete the VPC. Go to the VPC.
VPC.
Then we need to delete first NAT gateway. Need the NAT gateway. Again it takes 5 minutes to delete the NAT gateway. Click on the NAT gateway here. Select the NAT gateway. Actions. Click on the delete NAT gateway. Okay. Then go to the elastic IP addresses. Go to the elastic IP addresses. Select the elastic IP address. Click on the actions. Release on elastic IP address. Because we cannot release, because once it NAT gateway deleted only, we can NAT gateway deleted only, then only we can delete the. Then only delete the VPC. Okay, or release the IP address. First we need to delete the NAT gateway. Then only we can be able to delete the all the things. Okay. ఓకేనా, అర్థమైంది కదా?
అర్థమైంది సార్. ఎస్ సార్.
ఓకే ఓకే. I have another recording is there because I recorded in this one. Okay, I'll send to you.
ఓకే.
Okay. Tomorrow I'll see you. Yeah, let me check one more time here whether it is created or not. So here, go to the elastic IP here. So select the elastic IP. Actions. Release the IP address. Now go to the VPC. Select the Infosys VPC. Click on actions. Delete a VPC. Then click here, delete. Okay. Now successfully created a one VPC multi-tier architecture and delete all these things. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe and for more updates.